You do not need more government contracts to look at, okay? You need to learn how to decide which contracts you should walk away from. Because if you just registered inside of a government contracting portal and now you're looking at 47 different opportunities and thinking, oh my gosh, I could do all of these, right? Congratulations. You've officially entered analysis paralysis. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Deborah Smith. I am the owner of Hoobs Logistics LLC, a women-owned small business, executive coaching business. And look, this is where a lot of beginners end up getting stuck. They think that the goal is to actually find a contract. No, the goal is to find the right contract, okay? Because every opportunity sitting inside the portal is not an opportunity for you. Some are a go and some are a no-go. And then learning the difference can save you weeks of wasted time, okay? I call this the go, no go phase. All right, so before you start to do this thing where you spend hours reading solicitations, before you even pick up the phone and start to call vendors, before you start pricing, before you start getting emotionally attached to $250,000 contracts, there are some questions that you need to ask first. Okay. One, can I actually execute this or can my subcontractor assist? Can I or my subcontractor satisfy the experience requirements? Here's a very big one. Can I meet the timeline? Every single government contract has a deadline. You need to know that you can meet that timeline because if you're 1 minute late, your submission is now non-responsive, which means all the work that you have invested and all the time you put into the contract no longer matters. Okay. And are there bonding or insurance requirements? If so, can I meet them? And can my subcontractor meet them? And most importantly, does this opportunity make sense for my business? Now, we're going to stop right here because I'm going to share with you a model that has made me very successful in government contracting, and it is called the middleman strategy. I go after multiple different contracts. I have been awarded over $350,000 in government contracts in the state and local sector using this model. I pursue a contract and I hire subcontracting teams to fulfill the work on behalf of my company. So it's more about collaboration and partnership than it is anything. But behind the scenes, I still have to fill out documents, build beautiful proposals, and I also have to communicate with the contracting officer. So when my subcontractors come in and they give a beautiful price and I add a margin, we are coming together to collaborate for success. And every contract that I have been awarded has been successful through that model. Now, I also want to explain to you the middleman strategy is very beginner friendly. What it is about is scaling and growth. Because I am 3 years into government contracting and I am just now, as an executive government contracting coach, going after opportunities that are aligned with what I do. So I'm merging from the middleman strategy. I utilized it for 3 years. I built up my company, scaling, growing capital. Now I have the ability to merge away from that system and only focus on contracts that are in-person training with agencies. Okay, that's what we do as an executive coach. We train large, small teams on the procurement process. For me to scale and grow Proves Logistics LLC to where it has come today would not have been possible without the middleman strategy. One of my clients asked me this, and it's a very, very good question. If I'm using the middleman strategy, where does that help my business grow? The answer is capital and profit. You use that structure to build up your business for the capital to come in to one day be able to walk away from that structure and pursue contracts that are aligned with you. Okay. I have a staffing client. She owns a staffing company. She won an HVAC contract. That's the middleman strategy. The profit that is coming in from that contract, she can now pursue her own staffing contracts because she built up the capital with the middleman strategy. Okay. So here's the mistake I see a lot of beginners make. They fall in love with the contract amount instead of evaluating the contract requirements. A $500,000 contract can honestly be a terrible opportunity. And a much smaller contract can be the exact opportunity that gets you to your first win. I've spent a tremendous amount of time inside of government contracting portals. There is not one government contracting portal, state and local, that I cannot execute and get inside of. Okay. One of the biggest reasons we've been successful isn't because we found some magical portal like that nobody knew about. It's the actual contract selection, the way that we're going after opportunities, the opportunities that we're choosing to bid on. Okay. Knowing when to say, this is a go, let's work it. And knowing when to say, nope, we're walking away. Because in business, you have to make sharp decisions quickly and you have to walk away faster. Okay. That discipline, it matters. All right. Because your goal isn't to submit the most bids. Your goal is to submit better bids. All right. You heard that here first. So if you're watching this right now and you're registered in a portal, you're at a point where you're searching, you're excited, you're seeing opportunities everywhere, but you keep opening solicitations and then you find yourself opening another one and you're never really moving forward, right? You're not lazy. Okay. You probably don't need another motivational video either. You need a decision-making system. All right. Because eventually you have to stop being the person who looks at government contracts and become the person who actually bids on them because there is a big difference. All right. That's exactly why I created my $97 government contracting offer. It is called the 1 for 97. This design, okay, is for the person who already made it to the portal but has no clue what to do next. Okay. Inside, we're going to focus heavily on the contract selection and the go, no go process. There is no one better for the job for me to choose a beginner friendly contract for you that I know you have the ability to win than me. All right. So you're going to get one beginner friendly contract in your state where you can use the actual subcontracting model that I've been using for the past 3 years. So you're not just sitting there learning theory. There's a huge difference between opening a government contract and actually bidding. Okay, you're actually learning how to evaluate an opportunity. And I'm going to also give you my 20 question AI prompt. It's designed to help you analyze solicitations faster. 20 questions. You're going to take the contract, you're going to upload it into your favorite AI software, whatever that may be, Claude, Chat, whatever you like to use. You're going to take the 40-page solicitation, upload it with the questions, and Chat is going to pull the information that you really need to know to make a good decision. And I use this prompt on every solicitation I go after. Okay, so you're going to get the framework that helps you pull out information that actually matters. And then I'm going to give you the subcontractor PDF. What that's going to do is walk you through how to think about collaborating with subcontractors when you're pursuing an opportunity. So this isn't just, here's a contract, good luck. It's about teaching you how to think through the opportunity, and it is also about movement. One beginner-friendly contract, my 20-question AI prompt, and my subcontractor PDF that teaches you how to collaborate with subcontractors. There's two things you should be asking when you're talking to your sub. One of them is, can you do the work? Can you do the work? If so, can you please give us a price? Okay, because I want you to get to the point where opening a government contract, it doesn't intimidate you anymore, honey. I want you to be able to look at it and say, okay, this is a go, or no, this is a no-go, because there's a lot of money on the board. And when I say that, I mean there are a lot of active government contracts right here, right now, in all 50 states. I would also like to let you know the contract that is chosen will be a state and local contract. Okay. Now that's confidence. So you're not clicking through 100 contracts and you're not downloading 50 solicitations. You're not telling everybody you're going to become a government contractor. Now you're actually moving. I am the best person to make that decision when it comes to contract selection, and that is exactly what the 1 for 97 is about. Okay, and let me give you the simplest way I can explain it. You cannot win a government contract if you are not bidding on a government contract, honey. You cannot hit the lottery if you are not scratching a ticket. Okay. Now, I'm not telling you to blindly scratch every ticket you see. Okay. I'm telling you to learn how to recognize which ticket is actually worth your time. That's how the go, no go process is done. Okay. So you want to skip the portals. You're having analysis paralysis. The link is in the description. 1 for 97. So if you're already registered in government contracting portals, you're excited, you're seeing opportunities, but you're stuck because you don't know which one to choose. Go to the link in my description. Look for the 1 for 97 offer, okay? Stop collecting opportunities, all right? It's going to come from the opportunity you decide to actually go on. Whatever you are thinking that is good, think bigger. Bye for now.